Final Fantasy VII, one of the greatest stories ever told in video games, and as someone who is a Final Fantasy enjoyer, I never touched this game. 7 was always out of reach to me, partly because of the 3D PS1 graphics that it came with, but the main reason was because there were just too many games that I was interested in, so I just didn't play it. However, since I wanted to do this YouTube thing, I thought it would be a great opportunity to sit down, press that stream button, and boot up the game just to see if the game actually lives up to the hype. This video will contain spoilers for all of the story of Final Fantasy VII. If you have not finished Final Fantasy VII, the classics, or the modern version since FF7 Revelations is coming out soon, click away. Alright, let's get into it. Final Fantasy VII starts off bombastic. Literally. You jump off a train, rendezvous with the Avalanche squad led by Barret, and fight through Shinra soldiers and mechs to blow up a reactor. Avalanche is doing this because these reactors are using a resource called Mako that is basically the life force of the planet, and Shinra, the corporation that has basically taken over the world, are the exploiters, using Mako reactors to siphon that resource, bleeding the planet dry for their own benefit. We successfully complete our mission and manage to get away just in time before the bomb explodes, thinking we're helping the planet, even if it's just a little. However, the game shows us that it's all not black and white. When we complete our mission, we see the effects that the missions had on the civilians. We see ruined buildings and their debris. We see destroyed food or business stalls, destroyed cars, people running around in panic because of what we did. It showed that this was not a simple hero's journey. The story is showing us that there are multiple layers of what is going on within the world that we are playing in, and when I was playing this, that got me instantly hooked. I can't recall a different game that gave me this kind of feeling that FF7 did. These cool moments making us feel like we're the heroes going against the corrupt megacorpo for the good of the planet. But then, it immediately left us with this somber note that what we did, although good in intention, we can understand why people in this world would think that we are the bad guys. Another moment that truly showed me that this game was not messing around is when the attack on Sector 7 happened. When we get there, we see Biggs falling off from the top of the pillar, Wedge and Jesse heavily injured, Barret on his last stand against the Shinra to protect the pillar at all costs so that Sector 7 lives. Not just the people associated with them, but also the civilians. Shinra Corpo decided that this was a worthy sacrifice for their own cause. They're willing to kill their own people for the sake of their own good. However, during that fight, when Barret was up there at the top, Reno, the Turk, was able to sneak up and activate the bomb anyway, and in the midst of it all, Aerith, a companion for our journey, is kidnapped due to her lineage being an ancient. We managed to get away, but unfortunately we had to leave behind everyone else as the sector came crashing down, leaving the fate of everyone who lived there unknown to us. But safe to say, they're probably gone. Our character laments on what happened. Tifa starts to doubt whether their cause, just and good as it may be, might have only caused more harm than good. Barret, filled with anger and grief over his squad members, causing his anger to grow even more against the opposition. The fact that we get to have this moment of reprieve while also getting to know our characters a bit more from this moment is fantastic. I love these moments of pause where we dwell in the moment and just witness our characters being dissected. One more moment that I want to highlight is the moment we were captured by Shinra. We tried to get Aerith out of Shinra Corporation after she was kidnapped, but we were caught by the Turks, and all of us were put in detention cells for execution or other experiments. However, something happens to the electricity and the doors malfunction. It opens and gives us an opportunity to escape, and when we get out, the guards and other employees were already dead. We see a containment cell containing a being called Genova is broken, and there's a lot of blood there. We follow the blood trail and it leads us to the president's office, where we see him already killed by a longsword through his back. The murder was committed by Sephiroth, who is going to be the main villain of the whole story. I should mention that as we were going towards the president's office, monsters were also attacking us along the way. And when we entered the battle area was covered in blood. where previous to this, where we were initially infiltrating to rescue Aerith, it wasn't covered in blood at all. A very cool additional detail that adds onto the story. It was trying to enhance it, and it definitely did. Safe to say the game started off strong, as all of this happened in practically the prologue of this game. It felt like every piece, whether we know they existed or not, was moving. And the stakes felt so high, and it made me care so much about this journey and what we're going to go through. If there is anything I want to glaze over more than a fresh donut from Dunkin' Donuts before they rebranded themselves into just Dunkin', it is the characters and their developments in Final Fantasy VII. I played through this game for over 50 hours and never once did I feel like any of the characters felt abandoned or didn't belong. Except for Cait Sith. Now, I'm not saying Cait Sith is a bad character, however, I felt like Cait Sith was a balanced act character more than anything, and wasn't as interesting as everyone else. There are a lot of characters in this game. We have our main cast: Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, Red 13, Cait Sith, Vincent Valentine, and Cid. Each of them go through their own personal journeys and get their own personal moments in the spotlight where at times they feel like more of a main character than Cloud, which is a good thing. Barret's story when we went to Gold Saucer was amazing. Getting to know that character's backstory, his motivations, the people, and things that he cares about. It was absolutely wonderful. Our fight against Dyne, Barret's figurative brother, and us killing him due to his descent into insanity, but also Barret promising him to take care of his love, his child, Marlene, Dyne's biological daughter. I felt that scene was so raw and unapologetic for what it is. It was so beautiful to see that whole sequence of that love and that vengeance that Barret had but changed into something else, to something, a motivation where he instead not simply wants vengeance, he just wants to protect his daughter. And that's so beautiful. Then we have Red 13's backstory when we go to Cosmo Canyon and find out truly what happened to Red's father, Seto, the one he always thought just ran away from the war that killed his people, where at the end Bugenhagen, Red's grandfather, showed him the truth, that his father did not run away, but was the last bastion that kept Cosmo Canyon, he and his mother, safe. Red lived with the notion that his father simply ran away when he and his mother needed him most. And so when we were introduced to the petrified statue that is Red's father, it was so beautiful. I shed genuine tears and felt relief for Red. And the final nail in the coffin to the heartstring was that singular tear from that petrified stone, signaling that after all this time, Seto is still there and was joyful seeing that Red is still alive and wasn't alone. I don't know how Final Fantasy VII was able to do this, but there are so many emotional beats. Vincent Valentine, when we went into Shinra Mansion one more time and saw his backstory as to what happened to him and why he turned out this way, as well as meeting Lucretia one more time behind a waterfall, seeing her fate. And then you have Yuffie, which I'm not gonna lie, I found annoying, but then I understood why she does the things that she does, because of her pride as a Wutai, because of her personal identity, trying to be more than what she is for the sake of her clan. Even the Turks, the ones we know committed those terrible deeds throughout the game, and yet we see them just being normal people and at some points pretty goofy and entertaining, and they've just felt weirdly relatable. There are so many characters here, whether they're villains or heroes, that you just can't help but be mesmerized by their character, whether you hate them or you love them. Final Fantasy VII has just one of the best character writing just ever, honestly. You can't help but just like these characters or hate them so much because of what they've done, and they were all designed that way. They were meant to bring these feelings towards you, and they just do such a good job in grounding each and every one of them. Let's talk about Aerith's death. I don't think there is a way to talk about this without talking about my fondness for the character. Aerith is my personal favorite among all of the Final Fantasy games, and that is because of one specific game, Crisis Core. I played the PSP game way back in the day, and that was kind of my initial introduction to Final Fantasy. I loved Aerith so very much. She was such a joy to be with Zack, where up to this point I still remember just how much I enjoyed her presence. She is a sweet, charming, oftentimes chaotic and sly individual, and seeing her relationship with Zack was so nice. So, seeing her here in this game felt like seeing an old friend whom I haven't talked to in a long time. She is very integral in the story of the first act, or Disc 1 of Final Fantasy VII. Because of her situation as the last remaining Cetra, she is the one that Shinra wants to utilize to get to their promised land, supposedly a land rich in Mako energy. She is also somehow, due to that lineage, the only barrier between the planet and Sephiroth's plan coming to fruition, and so, because of it, she separates from our party. We look for her and find her up north in this ruined city, presumably where the Cetra lived a long time ago, and when we found her, she was praying. No! What? What are you talking about? What? No. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding? The amount of grief I had when that scene happened, when that sword struck her, when Cloud held her in his arms and everyone gathered suit. I was heartbroken. I lost a friend, a good friend, and at the end of that stream I just cried. The fact that this game is filled with numerous triangles with graphics practically non-existent could make me feel so many emotions for the characters in this game is baffling. When I heard that they kind of changed this in FF7 Rebirth, the so-called remake trilogy of this game, I understood why a lot of people would respond negatively to it. The reason it was so impactful in the first place was that it was a permanent death. You can never revive her again. She was gone. A lot of people tried to bring her back, trying to look for in-game lore clues to maybe bring her back from the dead or pulling her out of the live stream. Hell, some even tried to hack Aerith into their game after that moment. But that only caused damage as the game just continuously breaks when Aerith is on the team. This was a monumental moment in the video game, as Aerith meant so much to the players who play this game, and her death scene was masterfully done in the original. I don't know how they were able to fuck it up in the remake, but I guess somehow they did. Another twist that was insane was the reveal of Cloud's true backstory and Tifa's role in it. Right after getting out of Midgar, the party rests in an inn located in a town called Qhimm. Cloud tells the story of an incident that happened 5 years ago in a small backwater town called Nibelheim. He tells the story about his mission with Sephiroth, where Tifa was there as their guide in Mount Nibel. Cloud here thinks he was the soldier with Sephiroth. Their mission was to get to the Mako reactor in that area and report their findings. We actually get a little bit of lore about Sephiroth as well, about her mother named Jenova, who apparently died giving birth. It wasn't until we actually reached the Mako reactor where something started to change within Sephiroth, where they found the containment facility of a being called Jenova, a being sharing the same name as Sephiroth's mother. So to find out more, Sephiroth disappeared only for us to find him in Shinra Mansion, in the basement of Shinra Mansion, where there was an underground lab containing multiple books and reports of the experiments that was happening there. These reports broke him as he spent multiple days and nights just within that space, captivated by what he was finding. And I think that was the ruin for him, where he found out what he truly was, or at least what he thought he was. Not a human, not a soldier, but in fact a Cetra himself, with Jenova, the being inside that containment facility, being his mother. It sent him into a spiral where at some point he disappears, only to be found in the Mako reactor once more, wanting to set Jenova free so that they can take back the planet together. All of that backstory was told in the perspective that Cloud was also a soldier at the time alongside Sephiroth in the same class. And for most of the game, Tifa played along with it, until Sephiroth himself showed him the truth. That Cloud wasn't the soldier there accompanying Sephiroth, but merely a grunt. The truth that all of his memories are fabricated, or a mixed up jumble of memories between him, Sephiroth, and Zack Fair, the other soldier. From that incident, Cloud entered a coma state, especially after betraying his party due to Sephiroth's own corruption in his mind. When Midil was destroyed, Cloud and Tifa fell into the life stream. There, Tifa was able to enter Cloud's mind once again and piece him back together, his real self. This twist was already known to me due to already playing Crisis Core, however I did not realize just how deep Cloud's mind was in the mix. Going through the sequence as Tifa helping Cloud piece his memories together, separating himself from what Sephiroth had control over, and freeing his mind so that Cloud could become his true self was amazing. Probably one of the best character developments ever to have been written, and I'm just baffled that I just haven't experienced or seen this before. What is there to say about the combat in old school Final Fantasy? It's a turn-based combat with extra steps in the form of ATB, or Action Tied Battle. Everyone in a battle has an action bar associated with them, and when the bar is filled, the character or enemy uses an action, whether it be an attack, a magic, another action, or a limit break, which is charged by this pink bar at the bottom of the action bar. The fun part of this mechanic is that if you take too long thinking about what to do, your enemy might be able to move again because their action bar is filled again without you knowing. This system isn't at all new in the Final Fantasy franchise, as all the games up to Final Fantasy XII uses this mechanic, and there's a reason for that. It works really, really well. It not only has that strategic feel you would get in a normal turn-based, it also actively engages with you, keeping you constantly thinking about your next move, readying yourself to queue up the next move for the next character, and figuring out a possible formula prior to the battle to dish out as much damage as possible in a single cycle of actions. Most of the fights in the game are not particularly difficult or outstanding. Most of them you can pretty much just get away with just spamming attacks over and over again, and I will personally admit it got really annoying when the random encounters happened 2 steps from the previous one. However, when a fight becomes scary, it's shit bricks from my ass kinda scary. Oh wait, that's Bahamut. Oh my god! Alright, let's talk about what makes a good combat in a turn-based game. To me, personally, combat has always felt annoying at times, especially in a turn-based game, when the fights feel meaningless and unnecessary. I am aware that you need those fights to grind levels, leveling up your abilities and whatnot. I am aware that some enemies have specific loot as well that you need to steal, or certain enemies that have a skill that you can kind of take from them to use yourself. But for me, that was never the reason I enjoyed these games. I am not the kind of individual who likes to min-max and figure out the most insane combo you can do and collect, all the moves from other monsters. The combat has always been for me at least a supplement to the whole experience, where along the way, you roll from the random encounter table and see what you have to fight, excluding the boss you fight per arc, of course. which is why when I got to Wutai and finished the story arc and headed to the Tower of Trials for Yuffie, I was surprised by how challenging it was, especially at the end when we fight Yuffie's father, where it wasn't necessarily that he was a sponge damage because HP was not that big. Massive damage using gravity to mitigate the HP, constantly keeping me on my toes and thinking about what to do, whether I should attack or when I should heal. This is my personal thought, but a very good way of doing combat in, I think, any game is not necessarily to create damage sponges. For example, when you're playing Skyrim at Legendary difficulty, the enemies not only deal massive damage, but also the amount of damage they're able to take is just way too insane. Whereas enemies who you know can be defeated using your skills are very much still a threat because it only takes a few hits to kill you too. The balance act is integral to keep combat feeling like an epic battle instead of a spam same button slop. One thing that I love though is the equipment system. Basically you have two sets of equipment. The things you wear, like your armor, weapon, accessories. The other is materia, basically these magic orbs you get to put on your weapons and armor. Throughout the game, you collect new weapons and armor that are going to be objectively better than your previous ones, as well as accessories for certain enemies. However, what changes and what is interesting are the slots within those equipment. These slots are where you get to put your materia. These materials are basically magic orbs that are solidified Mako, and the magic energy within it that comes from the planet you can use for combat, healing, and other perks as well, depending on their effects. So, the fire materia would give you fire spells, ice materia would give you ice spells, thunder materia would give you thunder spells. Those are the green ones. Green ones basically give you magical abilities, but in turn it reduces your physical damage. The blue ones buff the green ones in different ways, whether or not it attacks all of the enemies, or it imbues elemental magic onto your basic attack, and so on and so forth. Yellow gives you additional actions during combat, like stealing items, using enemy skills against them, so on and so forth. Purple gives you passives to your character, like HP and MP up, basically giving you a boost in HP or mana or cover, which from time to time your character can block other enemies' damage to other characters, but in turn you're the one who takes damage. Even reversing your HP and mana, switching them in place, whereas normally you would have 2000 HP and 500 mana, now you have 500 HP and 2000 mana. Red lets you summon entities like Shiva, Ifrit, Odin, Bahamut, and of course, King Arthur and the 12 Knights of the Round Table, because why the fuck not? Ultimate End! Oh, whoa! Whoa, 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 what the? Oh! Whoa! Oh my god! Yo! Who the fuck are these guys? I guess they're the Knights of Round, that's who they are. Whoa! Yo! Did each of them do 5k damage? Oh shit, oh my god! Each of them did 5,000 damage. Oh my god! It's not done? Dude, they're dead! You can stop now! They're dead! Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh, yeah, that makes sense. 12 knights and then King Arthur himself. Fucking Knights of the Round Table. Who would have fucking guessed? All these materials need to be put inside your weapon and armor to take effect, and the longer you equip them and use them in battle, they will get upgraded, and not to mention, they clone themselves when they reach full mastery. In a weird way, materia and weapons and armor becomes the basis of what their character's class becomes. Did you build Tifa to be a full-on throw these hands type of character, or throw these spells with fisticuffs kind of character? Did you make Barret a full-on nuclear warhead with gun arm, or a healer that from time to time blows someone up? There are multiple ways to build a character in this game, and they are not limited to a class or job that previous Final Fantasies have done and are able to be just whatever they need to be at the moment. The only downside is that these characters don't really level with one another, and by that I mean you kind of get stuck with the same 3 characters, mainly your main character plus 2 others, because those who are in your battle party won't level up. And with 8 characters to choose from, most of the time, 5 of them will be left behind. Most of the time you get only to use 3 because the others are just too underleveled, and leveling them up individually would not just be a hassle, but your other characters will also be left in the dust because Cloud, your main character, cannot be removed from the main party and will be overleveled beyond the other characters. Thankfully, there are mods to change that now, but that was always my pet peeve when it comes to these games because I want to use all the characters that are available in these games. I want to show them love, but can't because that's just how the system is. In a story filled with tension, drama, mystery, stakes, and all these world-ending phenomena that are happening all around us, if that's the constant thing that we get, if there are no moments of pause, they become stale. And I think FF7 knows that well. This game finds an interesting way to balance between all the drama, some silly shenanigans, as well as just downtime, just moments where we're just relaxing. For example, when we were at the Gold Saucer, it was kind of a vacation day for everyone at the party where we can just have fun here for a bit. We have all these mini games that we can do, we have chocobo racing where we can bet our money, and frankly, get a chance to go on a date. In this case, I chose Tifa. Like, we know Sephiroth is out there carrying his evil plan. We know that whatever he's gonna do is gonna be bad for everyone and it can be world ending. But there's nothing wrong with spending a little bit of time gambling, right? Even before this, we were chasing Sephiroth across the sea, and eventually we landed at a resort where not only were our characters given time for some reprieve and some vacation time, you know, hanging out at the beach having fun, we also found a villain of this story in Professor Hojo also hanging out at the beach. I don't know why, but these moments, they're so funny to me, and I enjoy them quite a lot. Not only does it control the pacing of the story and kind of a palate cleanser for the next dramatic scene, it's also an opportunity to know our characters a bit more. Their personalities, their characteristics, even some of their flaws. Yuffie, it turns out, suffers from motion sickness, which is something we wouldn't have known if we were in constant state of drama, combat, intrigue, so on and so forth. We would not have seen Barrett with a sailor outfit flexing, feeling good about himself, you know? Like, these kinds of interactions we wouldn't have gotten anywhere if we had just kept going with the action. So moments like these are special, and I frankly really enjoy them. I think it's one of the biggest charms of this game, letting itself be silly from time to time. There's so much real serious shit going on, sometimes we just need a laugh. It also drives home something very important throughout the story. These small moments before the giant storm that is gonna crash down on us, and that is definitely highlighted here in this scene before the final raid towards Sephiroth. Cloud tells everyone to just get off of the Highwind, go back home, see what they are fighting for. Cloud wants them to decide for themselves if they want to risk their life here, stopping Sephiroth, or spend their last moments with their families and friends and loved ones should this mission fail. And it was a choice. No one was forced into anything, and for a lot of these characters, we already know what they are fighting for, because we went through this journey together, visiting their homes, meeting their loved ones. So for Cloud to address that for the characters themselves, it really drove in that this is the final battle. There's no going back. If we continue from this point. This is the end of the journey. These moments are exactly what we are fighting for. Barrett is fighting for Marlene, his daughter, as well as the Avalanche crew that he lost along the way. Red is fighting for everyone he knows in Cosmo Canyon, for Bugenhagen and his father. Yuffie is fighting this fight for the Wutai, for her people, and of course her father as well. Vincent is fighting this fight to avenge Lucretia. Sid is fighting for his folks in Rocket Town. Kate Sith Reeve is fighting for his ideals and the people of Midgar. For Tifa, Cloud is her main motivation, kind of redeeming herself for lying to him this whole time, and also her real feelings towards him. And for Cloud, this is a personal feud. With everyone now gathered and finding their resolve, it is time to descend into what may very well be the end of our journey. We gather all the lingering materia and items, readying ourselves for the final battle, and when we get there, we not only find Jenova and fight it, we also find Sephiroth fused with Jenova. We fight it to release the power of Holy that Aerith prayed for to give us a fighting chance against this threat, and ultimately save the planet for the incoming meteor. It's why Sephiroth killed Aerith in the first place. And this fight was awesome. Bringing in 2 different teams of 3, building them for the final battle, and switching between teams to not leave any ground for Sephiroth to heal. If this isn't absolute cinema, I don't know what is. This is probably one of the best final bosses ever. Of course, at this point, due to having the Knights of the Round Table and Tifa equipping Mimic, a yellow materia that copies the last teammate's action, which means I can copy Knights of the Round Table for Tifa to use, this fight became cutscene galore. But my god, was it worth it. I felt so fucking powerful. And after that fight was won, we get to the next phase, where the legendary song pops up, the most iconic song from Final Fantasy VII, One Winged Angel. This next phase was fucking hard. Not only do you get hit by a supernova, of which he constantly spams, causing you to become silent and confused, you cannot skip, forced to sit there and hope you don't get silenced and confused. I had time to grab a glass of water, go to the bathroom, order some food, and this cutscene was still not done. And then, to add salt to the wound, some of his moves that are not that supernova turns you small and turns you into a frog. How fucking unfair is that? Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Matt, aren't there items that can help you for this fight? I mean, you can steal a ribbon from one of the monsters. That is all true, and in another life, I would have done it, if it wasn't my first playthrough. So with blind confidence, I went into the fight without any accessories to mitigate those status effects. I got owned in my first try, and my second, but at the final try, I was able to beat Sephiroth using a lot of recovery items, and a little bit of luck. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! Did we do it? Oh my god! Are we done? Is it over? Did we slave? No. Did we slave? Did we save the planet? Oh! Oh! Let's fucking go! Hashtag justice for Aerith. Oh my god, we're finally done. This is all we could do. Wait, what about Holy? What's gonna happen to the planet? That, I don't know. Isn't the rest up to the planet? You're right. We've done all that we could do. Alright, everyone. We did our best. That's it. Let's go home proud. Oh? What happened? I feel it. What? He is still here. Oh! Still. Cloud? He's laughing. Whoa! Cloud! What is happening? But I thought we were done. Whoa, 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 whoa! Where are we going? Wait, what? Are we going to the heart of the planet? Is this the meteor? Like, where are we? Oh my god, what the hell are these winding tunnels? Is it the live stream? It's you. Oh! Oh! Yo! Oh my god. What? Limit break Omni Slash. Oh my god! Yo! Yeah, fuck you, Sephiroth! Fuck you! Whoa, what the hell? He's so bloody. We killed him. It's over. Sephiroth is gone. That Omni Slash was fucking sick. Aerith? Oh. Live stream. It's Aerith's theme. Please. Oh. Go, go, Cloud. Go, jump. No. I think I'm beginning to understand. What? An answer from the planet. The Promised Land. I think I can meet her there. Yeah. Let's go meet her. We can see my girl again? I want to see my girl again. Hey, where is everyone? Hey! I'm glad you're all safe. They all seem to be safe too. But now what are we gonna do? Holy should be moving soon.
And that means this place will. Oh, Lady Luck, don't fail me now. Oh. Oh, shit! Oh my god, the Gilnica! Oh, that's some crazy maneuvering by the pilot. The pilot? By the pilot. That's some crazy ass maneuvering by the pilot. Our pilot has become a full pilot. He's now part of the elite force of all pilots. Holy shit! Oh no! The turbines are down. Oh shit! What? The airship's a jet now? Wait, is this calm? Oh, I think it is calm. The flower girl? Wait, no, wait, huh? Where is this? No, it has to be calm. Oh my god! Yo! What the fuck? Is that the meteor? Oh no! Midgar! Did the people evacuate? Oh no, Marlene! Is that Holy? Oh my god, that little girl is looking at everything through calm. That's Cosmo Canyon. The observatory. Oh my god! No, the barrier didn't work. What? I thought if we beat Sephiroth... I guess that doesn't change the fact that the meteor is crashing down on Earth. Wait a damn minute. What's gonna happen to Midgar? We can't let that happen. I had everyone take refuge in the slums. But the way things are now, it's too late for Holy. Meteor is approaching the planet. Holy is having the opposite effect. Forget Midgar. We've got to worry about the planet. Oh no! What's that? Huh? Oh! That's the planet. Oh my god. The planet still wants us to live. The planet still wants to live. What the hell is that? Live stream. Headcanon. Aerith convinced the planet that it's still worth saving. That humanity's still worth saving. It's coming. Oh my god. Yes! Wow. This cutscene's fucking beautiful. Oh, we are watching through the credits for sure. That's a girl!
What a wonderful game. And the fact that this came out in 1997, it's older than me, which is insane to say. I will be real, at the end of the stream after closing the game, I genuinely shed a tear. It was such a beautiful story, a wonderful cast, absolutely amazing atmosphere and music. I felt joy completing it, but I was so sad that I couldn't experience the game ever again for the first time. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate you guys just clicking on it. It really means a lot to me. And shout out to Haas for recommending me playing this game in the first place. One of the viewers of the stream and subscriber of the channel. He's a wonderful human being. And shout out as well to everyone who tuned into the stream. I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in and, you know, us hanging out, having fun in Final Fantasy VII, talking about the moments over on the Discord channel. Of which, by the way, if you want to join the Discord, links are down below. And genuinely, thank you for letting me share this experience with you. This has been so much fun. We're currently doing a Twilight Princess playthrough over on the Twitch and YouTube channel every Friday and Saturday, as well as other demo games every other day. If you like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment about your experience with Final Fantasy VII. It helps with the algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.